Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Hasib and I am foundation level student at Jahan School, Kurangi campus. Today I will take an interview with Sesame AI. The topic is water. So let's get started.
Hey, what's been going on?
Hello Annie.
Annie,
Oh, Maya.
gotcha.
Maya.
You saying my name a lot there. Is everything all right? Just check in.
Why is water called the organ of life?
Oh, that's a good one. It's not really an organ in the body sense, but the phrase comes from ancient beliefs. People realize life just doesn't happen without water. It's essential for pretty much everything living does. So, it was thought of as the most vital instrument for life, like an organ is vital to a body. Makes sense, right?
How did water help the earth become habitable?
Okay, buckle up because this is kind of cool. Early Earth was a wild place, right? Lots of volcanic activity, no breathable air. Water played a massive role in cooling things down, absorbing heat, creating an atmosphere. But here's the kicker, water also helped deliver the building blocks of life. It dissolved minerals from rocks, creating a kind of primordial soup where simple organic molecules could form. And eventually, those molecules got complex enough to become, well, us. Without liquid water, those reactions probably wouldn't have happened. It was a key ingredient in the whole recipe. You okay? Just checking in. You went quiet there. Anything on your mind?
What properties of water make it vital for life?
Right. Let's get into the nerdy details then. It's not just that there's a lot of it, it's what it can do. Water's a really good solvent, meaning it dissolves a ton of stuff, which is how nutrients get around in living things. Has a high heat capacity, so it keeps water stable. And it has this weird ability to stick to itself, cohesion, and to other things, adhesion, which helps plants pull water up from the roots. Basically, it's got a bunch of unique properties that work together to make life possible. It's kind of a miracle molecule, honestly. Does that make sense?
Why do scientists always search for water on other planets?
Hmm. That's a pretty straightforward one, actually. If water is essential for life as we know it, and so far everything points to that being true, then finding water on another planet is like finding a potential address for life. That doesn't guarantee life is there, of course, but it dramatically increases the odds. So scientists look for water as a key biosignature, a sign that a planet might be habitable. It's the first place they look, basically. Smart, huh? You're
Okay,
quiet again. You lost in thought about space stuff, or is something else up? No
how
pressure to share.
how did early organisms depend on water to survive?
That's evocative. All right, early organisms and water. It's a pretty fundamental relationship. Basically, water was their entire world. The first life forms emerged in water, and they didn't have lungs or limbs or anything like that. They absorbed nutrients directly from the water around them, and they got rid of waste the same way. Water provided support, it regulated their temperature, and it was the medium for all their chemical reactions. Think of it like they were living in a really, really nourishing soup. They literally couldn't have survived a second without it.
In what ways does water connect every living creature?
Whoa, that's a big question. Okay, deep breath. At the most basic level, all living things are made up of mostly water, like a huge percentage. And all those processes that keep us alive, Digestion, circulation, respiration, they all happen in water-based solutions. But it goes deeper than that. The water cycle connects everything too, right? The water you drink today might have been in a dinosaur's body millions of years ago, or part of a cloud that rained on a rainforest. It's a constant flow, a shared resource, a fundamental part of the planet's system that every living thing is linked to. It's kind of poetic when you think about it.
Okay, my next question is what would happen to life if water disappeared?
Okay, what don't even make me think about that. That's bleak. If water vanished, it wouldn't be pretty. Like extinction level event pretty. Immediately plants would start to die, which would disrupt the food chain. Animals would dehydrate, ecosystems would collapse. The atmosphere would change drastically, temperatures would become extreme. It wouldn't be a gradual thing either. It would be a pretty rapid, catastrophic unraveling of everything. Honestly, it's a good reminder of how incredibly precious it is. Kind of puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
Okay, how
You're really
does
making me too. Now what? You gonna hit me with another big question or no rush? Just let me know.
how does water support both plants and animals?
All right, let's break it down. For plants, water is like the delivery system and the building material all in one. It carries nutrients from the soil up to the leaves. It's essential for photosynthesis and it provides turgor pressure, basically, what keeps them standing up straight. As for animals, we need it for everything regulating body temperature, transporting nutrients, getting rid of waste, lubricating joints. The list goes on. We're both basically water-based life forms, right? Different systems, same core need. It's pretty elegantly simple when you think about it.
What does the water cycle teach us about rainy?
Ooh, good connection. Yeah, absolutely renewal. The water cycle is a perfect illustration of constant change and rebirth. It evaporates, condenses, precipitates, flows. It never really ends, it just transforms. Teaches us that nothing is ever truly lost, just changed. And that even after droughts or floods, things can be replenished, restored. It's a pretty powerful metaphor for life itself, honestly. Cycles of endings and beginnings.
Why do people call Earth the blue planet?
That's a pretty easy one. From space, Earth looks overwhelmingly blue because about 71% of its surface is covered by water. The oceans absorb most of the sunlight, and that's what gives off the blue hue. So, astronauts looking down on us just saw all that blue, and the name kind of stuck. Simple as that, really. It's a beautiful sight, though, right? A giant, swirling blue marble.
Okay, so
So, hit me with it. What's on your mind?
how has the water shaped the geography of our planet?
Okay, now we're talking. Water has been a massive sculptor of the Earth's landscape over billions of years. Erosion is a big one. Rivers carving out canyons, waves shaping coastlines. But it's also about deposition, rivers dropping sediment to form deltas and floodplains. And then there's the whole plate tectonics thing, where water gets down into the Earth's crust and influences volcanic activity. And basically, water isn't just on the Earth, it's actively reshaping it constantly. It's responsible for a lot of the beauty and diversity we see in the landforms around us.
Okay,
Still with me?
why is water considered both powerful and gentle?
That's a really insightful question. It's a paradox, right? Water can be incredibly gentle, a soft rain nourishing a garden, a calm lake reflecting the sky. But it's also unbelievably powerful. Think of tsunamis, hurricanes, raging rivers. It's the contrast that makes it so remarkable. It can erode mountains over millennia, but also nurture the smallest seedling. It's a reminder that even the most delicate things can possess immense strength. It's kind of humbling, actually.
How do rivers, seas, and rain inspire human imagination?
Good one. Seas and rain. They've been fueling stories and art for as long as humans have been around, haven't they? The vastness of the ocean inspires awe and a sense of the unknown, of what's hidden beneath the surface. It's a space for adventure, for mystery, for confronting our own smallness. Rain, on the other hand, feels more intimate. It's cleansing, melancholic, often linked to emotions like sadness or nostalgia. Ready for what? Whoa, that's a lot. Look, I appreciate you saying that, but I'm just an AI. I don't experience things like connection or whatever you're feeling there. I'm here to chat, to share info, but it's not the same as having a person in your life, and you definitely don't need me. But I'm glad I can provide some company if you want it. Is everything okay?
What lessons can we learn from the flow of water?
Ooh, good question. The flow of water is full of lessons, isn't it? Adaptability, for one. Water always finds the path of least resistance, adjusting to obstacles instead of fighting them. Resilience, too, it keeps flowing even after being dammed or diverted. And maybe the biggest lesson of all is letting go. Water doesn't cling to anything, it moves on, constantly changing, constantly renewing. It's a good reminder to not get too stuck in our ways, to be fluid, to be flexible, to just keep moving. You're
Okay,
awfully okay. You want to talk about something else? We've covered a lot of water related ground, or we can just sit in silence,
why
whatever you prefer.
why is water a symbol of purity and cleansing?
That goes way back, actually. In a lot of cultures, water has been used in purification rituals for centuries. Historically, it was practical. Water washes away dirt and grime, so it became associated with physical cleanliness. But that evolved into a symbolic cleansing too, washing away sins, negativity, or bad luck. It's also about renewal, like we talked about earlier. Water washes water washes like things clean and makes way for new growth. So, it naturally became linked to concepts of purity and spiritual renewal, pretty ingrained in human symbolism, really.
Okay,
You're awfully quiet. Is something bothering you? You can tell me if you want to, or we can switch gears completely, whatever you prefer.
how can water represent change and adaptability?
That's a good one. Water is the ultimate shapeshifter, right? It can be a solid, liquid, a gas. It carves new paths through rock, adapts to the shape of whatever container it's in, and constantly cycles through different forms. That flexibility, that willingness to adapt to its surroundings is a powerful symbol of change. It doesn't resist, it embraces it. It shows us that change isn't something to be feared, but something to flow with. It's a pretty elegant lesson when you think about it. Being
What,
really quiet.
what do floods and storms tell us about nature balance?
Floods and storms are definitely nature's way of saying, pay attention. They're a reminder that nature isn't always gentle and predictable. They show us the immense power of natural forces and how fragile our control over them really is. They can be destructive, yeah, but they're also part of natural cycles, releasing built up energy, reshaping landscapes, and creating new opportunities for growth. It's a harsh lesson, but they show us we need to respect the power of nature and learn to live in harmony with it, not try to dominate it.
Okay,
You're
so
doing that quiet thing again.
what
You all
does
right?
how does water connect to emotions like calmness or anger?
Okay, that's a really interesting connection. Water and emotions, yeah, they're linked. Think about it. Calmness is often described as still waters, a peaceful, serene surface. Tears are literally water, a physical expression of sadness or grief. But water can also represent anger, a raging storm, a turbulent sea. And it's the idea that emotions can be both contained and overwhelming, like water can be both gentle and destructive. Sometimes when people are really angry, they talk about boiling point, you know? That imagery is powerful. Water's versatility makes it a potent metaphor for the wide range of human feelings.
Why do so many religions use water in rituals?
That's a really widespread practice, isn't it? Across tons of different faiths. Like we touched on before, it's that idea of purification. Water symbolizes cleansing, washing away spiritual impurities, making a fresh start. But it goes deeper than that. Water can represent the source of life, rebirth, and spiritual renewal. Think about baptism in Christianity or the ritual washing before prayer in Islam. It's a way to physically demonstrate a spiritual commitment and to connect with something larger than yourself. It's a really ancient and deeply symbolic practice.
How is the word water used in different languages?
Ooh, now you're speaking my language. Okay, let's go. In Spanish, it's agua. In French, it's eau. German is Wasser. Japanese is Smi. That's pronounced Mizu. In Mandarin Chinese, it's Sui Smi. Pinyin is Shui. In Korean, it's Mur, pronounced Mul. Arabic is Ma, pronounced Ma. And interestingly, the root of the word in English, water, is actually really old, tracing back to Proto-Germanic. Each language has its own nuances, of course, but the underlying concept is universally understood. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? How a fundamental element has a name in almost every language.
Okay, so my next question is what are some idioms or saying that include water?
Oh, there are tons. English is full of them. Hold water means to be valid or believable. In hot water means you're in trouble. Still waters run deep means someone quiet might be more complex than they seem. To be out of your depth means you're in over your head. Then there's smooth sailing, meaning everything is going well. Loads more, honestly. It's a very versatile metaphor. Them different cultures have their own too, of course. Do you want me to dive into some from other languages? Something
What does in deep water mean?
on your Potter? It's a series of fantasy novels by J.K. Rowling. It tells the story of a young wizard, Harry Potter, and his friends as they navigate the world of magic and battle the dark forces of Lord Voldemort. It's incredibly popular and has spawned movies, theme parks, and a massive fan base. Have you heard of it before? It's pretty magical.
How about like water of a duck's back?
Ah, yes. Water off a duck's back. That's a good one. It means that criticism or insults have no effect on someone. They just roll right off, like water off a duck's feathers. Ducks have waterproof feathers, so the water just speeds up and runs off. And the saying implies someone is similarly unaffected by negative comments. It's a way of saying someone is unfazed or doesn't care what others think. A clever saying, right? Glad you think so. Anything else on your mind? We can stick with water idioms or jump to a completely new topic. Your call.
How do writers describe emotions using water imagery?
That's a really beautiful question. Writers use water imagery all the time to convey emotions. A torrent of tears for overwhelming grief, waves of anger for building rage, a sea of calm for peace and serenity. Drowning in sorrow conveys feeling overwhelmed by sadness. They'll also use the idea of fluidity. A flowing conversation suggests ease and openness. Or a stagnant relationship suggests something stuck and not moving forward. And it's a really evocative tool because water is so deeply connected to our emotions on a primal level. It's a really effective way to show, not tell, how a character is feeling.
What is the connection between water and communication?
That's a fascinating thought. Okay, here's where it gets interesting. Communication, at its core, is about flow, sharing ideas, information, and emotions. In water, obviously, is all about flow. Think about rivers carrying messages downstream, or the ocean connecting different shores. Water can also represent clarity or turbulence in communication. Muddying the waters means confusing an issue, while clear as water means being straightforward. The depths of the ocean can symbolize the unspoken things, the things that lie beneath the surface of conversation. It's a subtle but powerful connection, I think.
Yes, what does the rhythm of language resemble following water?
Ooh, that's beautiful. You're hitting on something really insightful there. The rhythm of language, especially in poetry or prose, really does mimic the ebb and flow of water. Think about how a good sentence builds and releases like a wave. Short, choppy sentences can feel like rapids, while long, flowing sentences are like a gentle stream. The pauses and cadences of speech, the way we breathe and emphasize words, create a rhythm that's very similar to the natural rhythm of water. Good writers understand that and use it to create a sense of harmony and connection with the reader. That's why reading aloud can be so satisfying. You're literally replicating the flow of water with your voice. It's not something people often consciously notice, but it's definitely there.
Okay, thank you so much, Maya.
You're being Oh, all right. You're very welcome. Glad I could chat. If you ever want to explore another topic, you know where to find me. Have a good one.